The comment made by President Donald Trump cannot be taken lightly because, to my understanding, it comes out of a briefing that the president takes on a daily basis from the US intelligence agencies. It is very clear that the US intelligence has picked up tremors of Pakistan doing nuclear testing. Pakistan is testing the use of nuclear warheads. It's trying to come up with a new set of delivery systems for the future. India cannot take this lightly because American intelligence, whatever the world may say, is perhaps the best intelligence that you will get. He is also the commander of the defense forces, which essentially means that he is the main man responsible for Pakistan.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Hindustan Times and my name is Aisha Varma. On this segment of Point Blank, we'll discuss recent developments on South Asian security and diplomacy which have taken center stage, with the United States and Pakistan shaping headlines while India navigates these shifting dynamics. We have the executive editor of Hindustan Times, Mr. Shishir Gupta, here to decode these developments. Sir, namaskar. So first things first, the United States President Donald Trump has made some recent remarks about Pakistan which are raising eyebrows. What did he say and why is it significant?
See, President Donald Trump, while talking to a TV channel, has said that Pakistan, China, Russia, North Korea are doing nuclear testing. Now, the statement is very significant considering that two of India's neighbors are involved. One is Pakistan, which is known to be a nuclear rogue state, and the other is China, which is India's biggest adversary. Now, understand one thing. The comment made by President Donald Trump cannot be taken lightly because, to my understanding, it comes out of a briefing that the president takes on a daily basis from the US intelligence agencies, namely the CIA. Now, whatever the democratic or the world thinks about President Donald Trump, his mercurial ways, his off statements, his statements on social media, and so on and so forth, let me tell you very clearly that the president is known to take his intelligence briefings very seriously. Now, when he makes a statement like this is part of his memory recall of an intelligence briefing that has taken place perhaps that day or a day before or so on and so forth. Now, when President Donald Trump says that Pakistan is conducting or is known to be conducting nuclear testing underground, deep underground, it's a matter of utmost concern to India. Now, while President Donald Trump has not sort of substantiated as to what he's saying exactly, but what I understand of the entire thing goes like this. See, it is very clear that the US intelligence has picked up tremors of Pakistan doing nuclear testing. Now, this testing normally goes from you test to a subcritical level, or you test when it reaches the fizzled out stage. So there is a place where either the test goes subcritical or the test is in a fizzled out state. But nevertheless, there are tremors and the tremors are recorded, and it's very difficult to hide this. Now, the point in this is that these tests could be chemical explosions, in a sense that Pakistan is testing the use of nuclear warheads simultaneously by exploding chemical explosions and achieving what it wants to achieve. Or the second way is it is actually doing some nuclear testing where it is trying to reshape warheads, where it is trying to create new delivery systems, where it's trying to come up with a new set of delivery systems for the future. Now, why it is very significant is because normally nuclear devices are kept for deterrent purposes. When you start reshaping, reconfiguring, or remodulating devices and the delivery systems, then it is not deterrence, then it is war fighting. So that is why what President Donald Trump has said must be taken very seriously as to what Pakistan is doing. Now, Pakistan has a history of having nuclear understanding with China, with North Korea, and has been doing it for a long time. It has been proliferating nuclear technology. It has been dealing with China. Chinese would definitely be involved. Hence, the matter should be taken with utmost seriousness. Now, when you are looking at what President Donald Trump is saying, it essentially indicates that Pakistan is preparing a new set of delivery systems. And for that, it is reshaping warheads for which it is doing the nuclear testing. Now, this could be single warheads, or this could be what are called multiple integrated re-entry vehicles, which are put on a bus. Bus essentially is a plate on which the warheads are mounted in a missile. So something really nasty is happening across the borders in Chagai Hills in Balochistan, which is the restive area of Pakistan.
So then what does this mean for India?
See, India cannot take this lightly because American intelligence, whatever the world may say, is perhaps the best intelligence that you will get. And it's obviously indicating that Pakistan is up to no good. Now, what has happened, what President Donald Trump has said, and secondly, what is happening in Pakistan. Now, what has happened in Pakistan is that Pakistan has come out with new amendments where a position of Commander of Defense Forces has been created, whose head is going to be Field Marshal Asim Munir. Under this, there is going to be a National Strategic Command. Right? This is what has come out in reports, which essentially means that while in India there is a clear-cut demarcation on nuclear command between the civilian, that is the political leadership, and the military leadership. Here, it is getting worse by the day. So what you see is essentially that what was being handled at the apex level has now gone purely towards the army, and then it has spread all across, which means even the corps commanders, which essentially means that the head of the National Strategic Command, who's at the corps command level, is going to have a say on the deployment and of the use of nuclear weapons. This is a very dangerous position. And given that Pakistan right now is de facto military state, with the civilian leadership hardly having to do anything, India should really go back to the drawing board and see what it needs to do to ensure that it has the capability to counter what is coming in Pakistan.
So could we dive more into this aspect that you've currently been speaking about how the Pakistan Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir has been elevated as the Chief of Defense Forces in Pakistan. It's a new position, as you mentioned. First time the nation is doing this. Tell us more about the kind of impact it's going to have on Pakistan's military and what it could mean in a geopolitical sense.
See, the fact is that whatever reports that one reads is that the National Strategic Command is going to be held by an army general, not by an admiral or by an Air Force air marshal, first of all. Second thing, Field Marshal Asim Munir is there for life. Okay?
Okay.
Third thing is that he is also the commander of the defense forces, which essentially means that he is the main man responsible for Pakistan. And then you see the state of the political play in Pakistan, where you have a beleaguered Shehbaz Sharif government. You have an opposition leader called Imran Khan sitting in a jail. And you see insurgency both in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Baluchistan, and virtually a daily skirmish on the Durand line with Afghanistan. Now, given that Asim Munir, who was the DGISI when the Pulwama attack took place, and was the army chief when the Pahalgam attack took place, one cannot let go of Asim Munir and what he is capable of. He has, as it is shown very clearly, that he hates the Hindus, he wants Kashmir, and he will do anything to protect himself. So given that you have a megalomaniac across the border, India should be very much concerned about what is happening over there. Because Pakistan ultimately is right now a military state.
Sir, we've discussed Pakistan in detail. What about China? What are they planning?
See, when President Donald Trump talks about, testing by China, Russia, and North Korea, the topic of China is a matter of serious concern because it's India's immediate neighbor and an adversary, or a long-term adversary. Now, the problem over there is like this, that while Russia and US were constrained by the various nuclear treaties, SALT, START, China was not constrained by any treaty. So in the interregnum, China started developing huge nuclear arsenals, specifically the intermediate range ballistic missiles. And that is a problem of utmost concern to India, because ballistic missiles are not only targeted towards the Pacific, but also towards the Indian side. So, since both countries, that is Pakistan and China, are trying to develop new kind of warheads, new kind of delivery systems, India has no options but to also have a relook at its arsenal. China is also trying to help Pakistan to develop the third triad, the third phase, that is the Navy phase or the naval phase of the nuclear triad, which is the most potent weapon because that defines your second strike capability. So, in a nutshell, what President Donald Trump has said is a matter of utmost national security concern for India because it is surrounded by Pakistan on the west and China in the north.
So let's also jump back to the United States President Donald Trump. Beyond the recent remark that we just spoke about, he's also made another remark about India, saying that he wants to visit soon, he wants to talk about a trade deal. He has specifically said that India's Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, wants him to visit. His friend, Narendra Modi, wants him to visit. What exactly is the current state of Indo-US ties, and what is our game plan where this is concerned?
See, as far as India is concerned, President Donald Trump may be making all sorts of statements towards India, towards the Indian leadership headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What you will see, Aisha, is that there is hardly any response from India at a political level. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has hardly spoken or hardly reacted to any statement coming out of US, except that when the two sides talk about the improvement in the US bilateral ties, where he reacts on the social media. Similarly, if you look at all the top cabinet ministers, the CCS do not react to anything. The MEA is not reacting to anything. Now, what you see is that President Donald Trump is trying to put up pressure on India on all sides using anything that is possible. He talks about, India-Pakistan war, in which 7 planes were down and 8th was wounded. And then he talks about, his dear friend Narendra Modi. And then he talks about he wants to come to India, which the MEA says they do not know about. So he essentially is trying to put up pressure on India from all sides to ensure that he gets the best deal out of India on trade. That is my limited understanding. However, the Indian side has its red lines, has its green lines. It is willing to negotiate with US. It's willing to compensate for whatever US is losing on trade front. But there are some red lines which India cannot allow US to cross. So let me put it this way, that maybe after some time, an equilibrium, a definitely positive equilibrium will be reached, and after which the ties will come back to normal. Right now, it appears to be more of a pause from the Indian side, while President Donald Trump continues to tweet, continues to talk, continues to say whatever he has to say.
So beyond this, when we talk about Donald Trump, sometimes he blows hot, sometimes he blows cold with his statements. Many are asking whether there is a method to the madness.
First of all, Aisha, he's the second time president of the United States. He's also a person who has seen more billions than any of us has seen. Right? So to say that there is method or there is madness is a wrong thing to say. President Donald Trump is a man perhaps of 3 parts. He is the US president who takes his job very seriously, whatever may be the public facade of it. Second thing, he's corporate Donald Trump. Third thing, he's a politician Donald Trump. So it depends on that very day which Donald Trump you see. But to say that he's doing things in a mercurial way, no, it is not. He's doing things to his plan. He's trying to do the best he can for his country and to his slogan of making America great again. And one should not confuse that, all this he's doing because he's fickle and he thinks about, he's a megalomaniac. No, he's not. Okay? He has got elected the second time despite all odds. And he continues to be a dominating political force in the US. So one has to read into which Donald Trump you're encountering that day. Is it the US President Donald Trump? Is it the corporate Donald Trump who believes in crypto, who believes in deals, who believes in that? Or is it a political Donald Trump who's doing things to push his opposition down and to try and make the best for his own party?
Okay. Sir, thank you so much for joining us and providing us with all of the crucial insight. Do stay tuned to Hindustan Times.